Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with another layout for Spiegelmom Scraps as their Spotlight Sparkler for the month of January, and I'm going to be using two sequin mixes today. I've got the Holiday Magic and the Big Bling. So I'm going to use all the blues and greens out of these two packs of sequins. I'm going to be scrapping this picture of my son. This was not on his actual birthday, but the day we celebrated his third birthday. So I was very nearly due to have my daughter, who's now 2. So we had his birthday a little bit early. So I have decided to go with the number explosion technique, I suppose. So I've cut out a bunch of 3s with my silhouette in all different sizes and fonts. This one is a little tag. I'm just adding a whole reinforcer now. The collection I'm using is the Boys Rule by Cocoa Vanilla Studio. I have quite a bit of it. I'm getting through it now. I have a tendency to really hoard it because it's so beautiful, but I'm trying my best to use it up. So I'm taking this largest 3. I've cut it in just a very simple block font. I want this to be the focus of my layout. I want it to be very clear this is his third birthday. So I'm starting with the Big Bling sequins. I'm using all the blue ones. They're kind of like a holographic, really cool iridescent sort of finish. So I'm gluing a bunch of those on. And then I'm going to go in and fill all the rest of the blank space with some smaller sequins, and I will come back in with the more of the Big Bling in a minute, and you'll see how I do that. So I'm pulling out all the big blue cup sequins. I'm pulling out some of the smaller green flat sequins and the teeny tiny navy blue cup sequins out of that Holiday Magic mix. And I'm just going to go to town with gluing the sequins down. I want to cover that whole number. And I'm just using a bit of tacky glue there. What I tend to do once I've sort of got through this initial bit is just get my glue and sort of put down 3 or 4 spots of glue and then pop the sequins down and then repeat, rinse and repeat basically. So that just speeds it up a little bit if you put a few spots of glue down. And yeah. So I'm not going to lie, this took a while. I just popped a couple of YouTube videos on and relaxed. And yeah, it's quite therapeutic actually, and the time goes pretty quick when you're doing it. Well, I find anyway. I have sped this up super fast, so it's not too painful for you to watch. Okay, so I was running out of I was finding the sequins were a bit same, so I've just taken some of those Big Bling sequins and hole punched them so that I have kind of sequin-sized sequins out of them, but it just adds a little bit more variation of color there. Okay, once I've let the glue dry completely, make sure you let the glue dry completely before you do this, I am trimming off the excess that is hanging over the edge. And yes, you can trim sequins, you can cut them with scissors. It's pretty easy. My little scissors had no trouble cutting through them, so there we go, all finished. Now I am going to glue some little snowflakes on. They do come out of the Holiday Magic mix. There's a few of these little white snowflakes. I'm just going to glue them straight on top of the large whole sequins there. And I'm doing that because it was winter. And yeah, I just thought it was an extra little detail. So this photo was taken in June, so you can see he's got his little sweater on. It was a pretty warm, bright day. We do live in the subtropics, so it doesn't really get wintry, but yeah, I thought the snowflakes were a cute touch. Just popping everything down again, just making sure everything sort of fits on the page. I'm not really trying to position anything yet because I've got a bit more work to do first. I'm tearing some paper strips here. I have the papers from the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Boys Rule collection. I'm taking this grey and tearing the edge and then cutting a couple of strips, and I'll do the same with this blue paper. So I just want to kind of border my page at the top and bottom. I can't really explain why, I just kind of felt like, I don't know, the numbers kind of needed to be contained, if that makes sense. Alright, I'm going in with some splatters now. I'm using my Distress Oxides with a bit of water added in Peacock Feathers and Chipped Sapphire. So I'm using a large paintbrush for some large splatters and then a smaller one for some teeny tiny ones. To be honest, I probably could have skipped this step. I think the numbers probably would have stood out more if I hadn't done this, but if you watch my channel, you know I really struggle with blank white space. I wouldn't say rarely, I don't often use a plain white cardstock background, and even when I have a coloured background, I struggle to leave empty space on my layout. So a white background is very intimidating to me. So yeah, going ahead with those strips, I'm just using some wet glue and gluing those right to the edge. And then I'm taking my fingernails and sort of just distressing and curling up those edges a little bit more. Okay, now I have laid all my threes out again. I've got a rough idea of where I want everything, and now I'm just tracing around this one because this is just a template for my hand stitching. So I'm just going all the way around with my pencil and drawing an outline, making sure not to press too hard. Then I'm taking my little piercing mat and a sewing awl and piercing holes. So I didn't zoom in for this, it's pretty straightforward. I'm just going all around those pencil marks every 2 to 3 millimeters and piercing a hole. And I'm going all the way around the outside of that 3. I'm just going to do a straight stitch around this one, and then I'll do another smaller one just below my photo in a chain stitch. So just erased all my pencil lines. I haven't shown you my stitching because it's a lot, but there you can see my 3 with the back stitch and that little one with the chain stitch. Adds a lot of fun texture. Didn't take too long. If you do want to see a hand stitching demo, most of my past videos that have hand stitching on them, I do show you a small portion of it. So if you just scroll back through my past videos, you should be able to find something. Now I'm just matting my photo. I'm using this white with navy blue crosses. I was just going to use plain white, but I found that paper and I thought the navy blue crosses were cute, so why not? May as well. And my final photo mat will be on this navy blue. So just very simple. I'm trying to keep it not fussy because the rest of the layout is going to be pretty hectic to look at. So keep my photo simple. I wanted a white to make the dark photo pop, and then a layer of a dark color to pop off against that white background. So just a slightly thinner border of the navy blue than of the white. And then I will go in with my scissors and distress the edges as well, because that is a dark color on a light background, and while I want that contrast to draw attention to my photo, it can be a little bit stark, so distressing the edges just helps to soften that impact. There we go. That's where my photo is going to go. And now I am going to layer all my 3s back on the layout, and they will be roughly pretty much where they are going to end up. Okay. This one is also going to be a template. I'm going to use it as a bit of a stencil. So I'm taking a greenish bluish paint. Yeah, I can describe colors so well. It's actually a mix of cyan and a spearmint color. So I'm just sponging that on with a makeup sponge, and I'm just holding that bit of paper or cardstock 3 on with my finger. I probably could have glued it down or used temporary spray adhesive or something, but I just couldn't be bothered, to be honest, and this worked just fine. Ta-da! I'm just trying to do a few different techniques. I've seen a bunch of these techniques on Pinterest, and I actually did mean to go in with a stamp as well, but it completely slipped my mind. So here, this one again is just a template. I've got a gel pen here, and I'm just doing little dots all the way around the outside, just close up against the template to get that basic shape. And now I'm going to go in with my pen and it's kind of like a pointillism technique. So I'm keeping it's all dots. It took me a long time. This probably took the longest, honestly. This took longer than even the sequins. This is sped up super, super fast. And so I'm doing the dots close together near the number, and then as I get further away, I'm spacing them out, so it kind of looks like they all fly away. It's a really cool negative space technique. Probably would have had more impact if I did it in a darker color, but it still looks really cool in real life, just not so much on camera. Okay, I'm going to pop my title in now because I don't want to design myself out of a space for it. I decided ahead of time I wanted to use this Hooray script. I can't remember which collection it's from, I'm sorry. It is a Thickers product. It has a whole lot of sort of birthday phrases on it, and it's gold foiled with foam backing. So I just pulled out Hooray. There was one that had, I think, Celebrate or something like that I wanted to use, but it had a pink foam backing and you could see the pink, and it just didn't really go with this layout at all. So this side has a mint green backing, so it's perfect. I'm just sticking down those loose threes now where I want them. Okay, I skipped 2 so you don't have to watch all that gluing. Adding a bit of twine to my tag. Let's trim off the excess, just a grey and white striped twine. Now I'm coming in with all the thickers, so I went through all my thickers and pulled out all the ones that were kind of either neutral or blue or green, and pulled out all the threes. So I've used a gold foiled sort of two-tone one there. That one's a cork. I did a silver glitter 3, and that I'll swap there for that blue glitter. And then I pull out this foam green glitter. And now I will come in with some teeny tiny ones to sort of fill in some of the gaps. So that's a white with a blue stripe. That's just a little gold foiled tile sticker. And then I'll use a teeny tiny gold foiled sticker there. And that's it for the threes. Now all I'm going to do is add a few sequins. I add a little group of 3 at the bottom of my photo here, and I add another group of 3 around my title. I did look for a spot to put another group of 3, but I thought with all the sequins on that 3 already, it would be a bit too much. And that is my layout all finished. Thank you so much for joining me. Close-ups are coming up. Don't forget to check out Spiegelmom Scraps. I will leave the link to the blog in the description box, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.